Welcome to our first theory video for A Murder at the End of the World. I'm Dan, that's Jules, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Shout out to Ella Fieldy Pops for recommending this show, and if you guys have any recommendations for us to cover, just let us know in the comments. We're going to be covering it from now on, What Just Happened style, starting on Tuesday. Just real quick, if you guys don't know the background of the creators, Britt Marling and Zal Batmanglij, who I'm just going to call Batman from now on, they have done some really great work, including the OA, which was one of my favorite shows like ever, and it was so sad it only had 2 seasons. So
Yeah.
shout out Matilda. She commented and said, best creative duo ever. They did the OA, The Sound of My Voice, and Other Earth. They're an amazing duo. And I agree. I've seen all of those, the show and the two movies. Couldn't agree more. This duo is just so good together. And I'm happy they got their chance to make something because unfortunately the OA was canceled after 2 seasons. There are people that do think this show connects to the OA because of how season 2 ended in the OA with them going to like alternate dimensions or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not in that camp, but if you guys are in that camp, please feel
That'd be
free to
cool
comment.
though.
Yeah, if it happened to be the case, I'd be okay with it. There is a comment that I'll save for the very, very end of someone trying to connect it. But yeah, this show's off to a great start. It's a mind-bending mystery. This is something that Jules and I absolutely love to dig into, these types of shows, especially. Get your comments in, get your theories in. Next video, we're going to do theories on all of your comments. But here's what we know. Bill and Rohan, dead. R.I.P. Very sad to see Bill die so early. I was a fan of his character in the limited time that we got him, but I really liked his character. And here's the main suspects, in my opinion. Lee and Andy. Will it be that obvious that it's one of them? But there is something that I'm going to save towards the end that I want to talk about specifically with Andy and Zoomer. And then you got Sean the doctor, Lou May, David, who's Andy's number 2, Todd, the head of security, Martin, Oliver, Zeba, and Marius, the hotel manager. Now, they're my main suspects right now. If you guys have someone that you think is a higher suspect than them, just comment below. We're going to make another theory video, like I said, just with your comments. So yeah, we're going to start off reading some Reddit comments, and we're going to end with Ella's theory because she suggested we cover the show in the first place. So we're going to highlight hers at the end, and then we're going to give our predictions on what we think is going on. But it's pretty insane. I do have a solid theory though. In this video, we're going to talk about possible predictions on who dies next, who the killer could be, of course, and what if everything is not as it seems at all. If there's a total turn coming, which with Brit and Batman, there definitely could be. So here we go. First up comes from Show Frequent 1144 on Reddit, talking about the plane ride. Any theories on why some guests weren't on the plane with other guests? We know Bill, Rohan, Zeba, and Oliver did not fly in on the plane. Wonder if that has some great importance. And then J4 Knox says, none of the ones killed was on the plane. Let's see how long this will be the case. I guess the next victim is not on the plane too. And that's something that I didn't notice at all. But once I
didn't
read
notice that either.
yeah, but it kind of makes sense. Like, what if everyone that flew in on the plane, like, they're safe? And you know there's going to be another murder. It's not just going to be 2.
Well, yeah.
I don't know how many people are going to get killed, but I know it's not going to be just 2. Now, I didn't read ahead or do anything to jump ahead, so they might have already confirmed that if you look into the episode details or whatever. But I want to be surprised.
Yeah, I don't like doing that.
Yeah, I definitely want to be surprised, but that's definitely, I mean, they didn't fly in on that plane, and they were the first 2 to go, you know?
That's true.
And remember when Rohan died, he did the Morse code when he was wearing that creepy mask in the snow. 1 down, still a go, which Darby conveniently, she knows how to read that, which there's a comment we're going to talk about later. But that's just something to look into when predicting who dies next. So I'm guessing it's going to be Oliver based on the pattern that it's been 2 men that have been killed so far. And Oliver wasn't on the plane, so I think he might be next to go.
So next we have a Reddit post from Hello Miss McKay titled, If It Looks Like a Duck, Is It a Duck? And Miss McKay says, but now we have this. One guest is a doctor that has pronounced 2 deaths, made a ridiculous cause of death, and an unlikely speculation. One guest is experienced with deep fakery. Another guest allegedly makes a call to Darby to confess and spill a big secret moments before said guest ends up in another room dead on the floor, suggesting deep fakery. We see a flashback of Bill using remote Morse code to wish Darby a happy birthday. One guest later uses Morse code to send a message Darby can conveniently read. One guest appears to be diabetic, and an insulin pen is found on the floor in the victim's room. One guest is an author. Her book is found on the floor of the victim's room with blood smeared on it. Then said book is later missing.
This is something that popped out to me right away. So what was something that was in common with the 2 murders? with Bill and Rohan, right? It was both of them were about to tell Darby something. Remember the first time Bill said to Darby outside, please come to my room. Like, there's something I really need to talk to you about. She didn't
Yeah.
want to because she was upset about their history. She put on her headphones. That song came on when she put the shuffle on, like their song, right? And then she was like, all right, let me go talk to him. And then, of course, it was too late because he was already being murdered at that point. And then Rohan on the phone was literally about to say something, and then he gets killed. So the killer knows that that's about to happen. So that's when they take their time to strike. So that's a big piece of evidence that I want to look out for. Like, who knows more than they're letting on?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's something I want to look out for. The Morse code stuff, yeah, with the happy birthday, that was adorable. That scene when that was
That was
before they
cute.
even met in real life, when he took her to that lamppost. She knows how to do all this stuff. I mean, she's a hacker. Of course, she's going to know Morse code
Yeah.
and just all of this stuff. And I did notice the book on the floor on the murder scene, and then the book's just gone. You know, we saw Lee in that room snooping around. We'll talk about that scene in just a moment. This is just a lot of stuff just laying out possibilities of what could be going on. So it's keep your ears sharp and try to figure out, what could this mean? Why would they show us this? Why would both times Darby's about to learn some information and then boom, they get killed?
So do you think that Rohan's call was deepfaked?
That's a great question. I don't think so, though.
The only thing that leads me to believe that it's not is because, do you remember how when they're talking about the deepfakes earlier, it's because Sean has like so many like public voice clips that they don't even need like samples of her voice to make the deepfake, right?
Exactly right. Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
said that there's like nothing to find on Rohan past what, like 2006?
Right. Yeah. He's been off the
So
grid.
like,
Yeah.
what are the odds that someone is even able to make a deep fake of his voice like that? Because he hasn't talked a whole lot on the retreat, so I can't imagine they got a lot there.
Right. And like based on the timing of it, like he called, he was about to do it, then there was like clattering in the room, and then he was dead. So it was like the timing was too perfect for that to be fake. All right, next up, we're going to talk about Lee. I'm very curious if she has anything to do with it. I'm very curious about something else with Lee and Bill's relationship that I'll talk about at the end of the video. This is from Pika Josanne on Reddit. I think Lee wants something and she isn't sure who has it. When she was rifling through Bill's things, she never stopped a second to consider anything she found, including a drawing of Darby. There was something specific she was trying to find, and when Darby asked her what it is, Lee distracts her by talking about how she doesn't believe in an overdose either. Then she comes to Darby's room acting all shady and inviting herself for a sleepover. I think she was searching Darby's stuff for the same thing. Now, clearly, there's more to Lee than we know, right?
Yeah.
And all right, one of my theories I was going to save to the end, I'm just going to say it right now. Is it too obvious that Zoomer is actually Bill and Lee's kid? Is that too obvious?
No.
Because, like, he kind of looks like him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
He kind of does.
But I don't know. There's another theory we're going to talk about later that I would like to entertain more than that.
Okay.
I feel like it's a little bit less played out, I guess.
Yeah.
Although she did like hard insist that they had never done anything. Like they hooked up that one time and it was like, nah.
It didn't work out. Right. Yeah. He had performance issues. Okay. So all right. I'll leave that for now. But if you guys think Zoomer is their kid, let us know in the comments. All right, this next one straight up blew my mind. Now, someone figured out the timing of. Now, this could just be a mistake with the show, but they figured out the timing of Darby's flight, Bill's death, Zoomer's birthday, and kind of started to crack things down a little bit. So here we go from.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Impressive. Okay.
Yeah, it is. From Paven Harton on Reddit, timing of Darby's departure to retreat doesn't line up with the date of first murder. So I was able to calculate a few things, and the dates definitely do not add up. When Darby is first texted by the AI Ray, her phone reads Saturday, January 28th. Ray says the flight to Iceland will be leaving in 2 weeks. The problem with this? The date of Bill's murder is February 3rd, 2023. I calculated this based on the moment when Zoomer tells Bill his age at the dinner table not long before Bill's death later that evening. 5 years, 9 months, and 20 days. Later, when Darby is hacking the cameras, she learns Zoomer's birthday is April 14th, 2017. 5 years and 9 months from that date is February 3rd, which would place the night of Bill's murder before Darby leaves for Iceland, since Ray said the flight was 2 weeks from January 28th. So her flight would have left February 11th. Now, okay, could just be a mistake, right? Could just be a mistake, but bravo. I hope whoever wrote that watches this video and gets their flowers, because that was amazing. What do you
I'm
think about that?
impressed.
Is that a mistake, or is there something trippy going on that
And like
we didn't
we're
get the full picture?
100% positive that her phone said January 28th.
That's what we're gonna go with. But
Now that I'm
listen,
calling this person a liar, I believe you. I just find it hard to believe that something like that would be missed.
that me too. But it just makes me think maybe this is all just a test with Andy, and we're gonna talk about it later with Ella's comment next. So like maybe no one's actually even getting killed. Maybe this is all just a big test. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they're just getting yanked out of the matrix, you know?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So that would be absolutely insane. And this is like the glove right here. We found the glove. Now, does it fit? I don't know. But it's pretty crazy. This comment absolutely blew my mind. Let me know what you guys think of that theory below, or did the show just make a mistake? I don't know. But
No
bravo.
way. There's no way. That has to
Yeah,
be part of the details somewhere.
it's gotta be.
Like,
Yeah.
this is definitely a simulation kind of deal.
Right, like Brit and Batman are too smart to make that kind of mistake. Like they wouldn't let that mistake fly. That's just a continuity error that just wouldn't happen with them. I don't see that
Now,
being the case.
granted, I don't know that they would really expect anybody to like actually do those calculations,
Yeah, sure.
but it feels awful intentional that they included his birthday down to like the day.
Exactly. Down to
You know
the
what I
day.
mean?
Yeah, and like that was the password. I don't know. It's just like they give us these details. That's there for you to crack it if you have the time and the know-how to figure this out and do the calculations. So just bravo, really crazy stuff. If that blew your mind too, let us know in the comments.
All right, the moment we have all been waiting for. This is from our girl Ella. So Ella says, okay, I'm not sure how good these theories are, but hopefully they'll help you with your own theories or with your video. When Darby was looking through the door security camera footage, the focus has all been on the footage of the white masked face. Just before that footage, we see the door was opened and closed, but there didn't appear to be anyone there. I think it was Zoomer. He's too short to be picked up by the camera, so it looks like no one was there. We know from Andy that Bill was injected with morphine just before Rohan went to Bill's room, which time matches when Bill's door opened and closed, seemingly without anyone there. Zoomer may have innocently injected Bill, as we did see him earlier pretending to be a doctor. Zoomer has been having nightmares since Bill died, possibly because he's realized what he's done. There's also a theory that Zoomer is a super advanced robot with AI, not a human child. He couldn't eat the bread. If so, he could have been following programming to inject Bill. Not sure about that, but throwing it out there. Before Darby boarded the plane, her temperature was taken and a swab taken from her mouth. What if it wasn't a swab, but actually some form of new nanotech implanted that can alter what she thinks she's seeing? The whole retreat is some kind of real world test for the robotics and AI that Andy and his team are developing.
All right. I mean, that's great stuff, Ella. I mean, you suggested we cover the show in the first place. That was fantastic. Cherry on top. And we're going to do one more with the OA connection after this, but I love it. It does make sense that Zoomer wouldn't be picked up by the camera, and it looks like someone's coming in, right?
I was
He's just,
thinking that too. Like my
yeah,
brain could only focus on that part when the door opened and shut and there was no shadow there. Like
right.
no one came
Yeah.
in, they didn't see anybody. Like
And he could just be AI programming, and this could all just be the whole thing could be a real world test for robotics AI that Andy and his team are developing. Like, wow, so cool. So I
for
mean,
sure, for
that's why
sure.
you didn't want to say you don't think Bill is his father, because you want to believe this AI theory instead.
Because that's no, it's terrifying. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
It's absolutely terrifying. But like that's a really cool way to take the story that isn't just like, Lee had an affair. Whoops.
sure.
You know?
Yeah. That's
But
been done 1,000 times, more than that. Right.
right. But it
Yeah.
also it kind of makes sense, like the whole like you had this tech guy and this like hacker, like they could be doing some kind of like I don't know, DNA hacking or something. I don't know if that's a real thing.
Yeah.
I've heard it thrown around, so like maybe they figured out how to do that shit.
Absolutely love this one. I'm kind of hoping this happens. And would that mean though no one actually dies? They're in some sort of virtual reality for the moment, something like
Possibly,
that. Yeah,
but it may not necessarily be that they're not actually dying, but like they're actually dying. It's just the way it happened isn't how everyone is perceiving it to have happened.
sure. Okay, really cool. I can't wait for episode 4. Okay, quickly on someone bringing an OA theory. They said, what if Clive Owen originally played Hap from the OA? As we know, Jason Isaacs played him. If I recall correctly, Britt and Zal said they originally had another actor for Hap, but it didn't work out, so Jason Isaacs was called last minute. In A Murder at the End of the World, Clive Owen looks so similar to Jason Isaacs. Just a random thought I had. And there's tons of stuff out there on the OA theories. If you guys have any OA theories you want us to talk about, just comment them and we'll read them in the next theory video we do. I mean, I would love to do a couple more of these theory videos. This
Oh,
show
yeah.
is so dense and there's so much going on. So go crazy in the comments and we'll read as many as we can next time. But all right, it's time for our predictions. My guess is, do you want to say it at the same time?
No.
Okay.
No, I want you to tell me first.
My guess is Sean, the doctor.
I don't necessarily think that she did it, but I think she had something to do with it.
Yeah, she seems a little too.
There's something suspicious about her.
Yeah.
She's so quick to throw out these bullshit reasons for why these people died, or like what could have happened, or like writing off that, you know, Bill injected himself when clearly it was in his dominant arm who does that.
Right. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't figure out what her motive would be with this as like a solo mission for her.
She's just so quick to poo-poo everything, and she's just like
100%.
Like she wants to be the smartest person in the room, and she's just
like
way too shady.
You were on the moon. Okay.
Right. Yeah, we get it. You're a doctor and you were on the moon. All right, cool. Great. We're all here at the same place for a reason. So like she just stands out to me as being someone with the most to gain out of this situation for some reason. And
yeah. Well, I also feel like she's like so just like up Andy's ass.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
all the time. Like she just wants him to love her so bad.
Right.
I feel like she would probably do anything he asked her to do. So if it was some bullshit thing and they're like, oh, you're a doctor, you can tell them that it was something completely different than what it was, and they'll believe you.
Right. And she's just so quick to like rule out suspicious behavior just to try to just shut that down.
Didn't she tell Darby, like, just fucking let it go?
Yeah.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Yes, she did say that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she just seems a little bit too
She's like, hey
suspicious.
girl, maybe like don't snoop around. Maybe just let it go.
Yeah, just
and
let
I
it
bet
go
she was the one who told Andy to send her home too.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. So yeah, that's my guess. Who's yours?
I'm not sure. I don't want to think it's Andy because it's so obvious. I definitely think Sean had something to do with it though.
Okay.
I'm split between like Lee and Sean.
Okay, Lee's definitely suspicious.
Involved.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So go with the combo for now then.
Yeah, they're the two that are, I don't know if they're I don't know if I would say they're working together necessarily, but they're the two that are giving off the most sus vibes to me right now.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good answer for me. All right. Time to open it up to you guys. What do you think about everything we just said? Who do you think dies next? Who do you think the killer is? Just go crazy and we'll make as many of these videos as we can. But yeah, loving this show. Can't wait for Tuesday and we'll be here to cover it for the rest of the season. So subscribe if you like this video. Please like and share and do all this stuff. And thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Later.
Bye, guys.